Hello and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that is ready to present its second pop music quiz. Tonight's question: what American R&B musician went on to play piano, the electric piano, and the organ for the Beatles' Abbey Road album? The answer at the end of this video. Start commenting now. The winner will receive a copy of my autobiography, Cody Dazzle Me. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I thought we'd go ahead and we'd do something else. Today, instead of discussing board games like we usually do, I'm going to talk tonight about my top 10 video games of all time. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so like I say, I thought, you know what, I'm going to be talking about video games. I've actually, over the years, I've played a lot of video games. I don't play nearly as many as I play board games. I'm playing a video game right now I'm really enjoying, and I was just thinking, you know, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just talk about my top 10 video games of all time. And these span the range from different consoles and PC, and so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into them. First of all, my honorable mentions. First of all, Battlefield 1, which was, of course, World War I first-person shooter, which I really enjoyed. The Call of Duty, both the original Call of Duty, the World War II, and then Call of Duty Modern War. Again, first-person shooters I really liked. I played those both on PC. I played Battlefield 1 on my PS4. Star Wars Battlefront, another first-person shooter on my PS4, which was a great Star Wars-themed first-person shooter. Really enjoyed that. There's a game called Panzer General that I used to play on my PC, and then I actually had it on my PlayStation 1, which is a strategic World War II game. It's kind of a hex game where you're moving your tanks and artillery and planes. Played that a lot. I think I was playing that when I was in high school. I really got a kick out of that. And then also another game I had, first on my PC and then on my PlayStation 1, and that is Space Hulk. Space Hulk, of course, you're moving the Space Marines throughout ships, blowing up Tyranids. It was better on the PC because you'd command a squad and you'd see the main guy's first-person perspective, but then you'd see like the four others and other screens, and then on PS1 you didn't see the other screens, which really bugged me. But it was a great kind of puzzle game because you're moving your guys throughout the mazes trying to kill the Tyranids and reach your objectives. Really enjoyed Space Hulk as well. So those are my honorable mentions, and now my top 10 video games of all time. Number 10, I'm going to be blunt. This is a game that's on my list primarily for nostalgia purposes and sentimental purposes. This is Adventure that I played on the Atari 2600. Now, this was a great game because it was scary. I remember being a little kid and playing this game and being terrified that dragon was going to show up and just being out of my mind trying to find the sword in the hopes I could defend myself. I would literally get freaked out, just terrified as a little kid, like, you know, 7 years old playing this game, just scared to death of seeing that dragon pop up. And then you go in the mazes, and I think in the first level, the mazes weren't dark, but then they became dark in the subsequent levels, and it was just a scary, scary game. It also has the Easter egg in it that I freaked out when I saw that for the first time. But it was just a fun and scary and interesting game when I was a kid. And again, one of the sentimental reasons I like it is I've mentioned before, when I was 6 years old, I was hit by a car. And it was pretty bad, and I was in the hospital for a few days, and I healed pretty quickly. And while I was there, in order to help me recover, my dad told me, if you get better, Cody, I'll buy you a new Atari game. If you get better and come home, I'll buy you a new... When you get better and come home, I should say, I'll buy you a new Atari game. And I was super stoked to get home because I wanted my Atari game, wanted my new Atari game. This is back, you know, they're pretty expensive. I'm a little kid, and these things were like $20 or something like that, which blew my mind at that age. And I'm thinking, oh, I can't wait to get this game. Well, I was thinking about all the different games I wanted, and my brother he was about 6 years older than me, kept saying, Cody, get Adventure, get Adventure. You want to get Adventure. Well, he wanted Adventure, right? So anyway, but I got that game essentially because I got hit by a car. So, good trade, right? But that is my number 10, Adventure for the Atari 2600. My number 9 is a game that I played on PS3 a few years ago, and it was a game that I got through the Amazon Vine program. I knew nothing about it, but I said, oh, it's a free video game. I just have to review it. Yeah, I'll go ahead, I'll get it. So I went ahead, I got it, I played it, and I absolutely got hooked, and I fell in love with it, and I beat it. And it was so much fun. It just really sucked me in. This is Watch Dogs. This is the first Watch Dogs. You're in Chicago. You're a guy. I think the story was his wife and kid were missing or they were killed. I can't remember, but he's out for vengeance and you know, it's just good. You're hacking into using your phone to hack into computers, but you hack into traffic lights and you hack into different security systems and different cameras and stuff. Really a smart game, an interesting game. You've got the open world map of Chicago, so it's kind of a sandbox game. really well done and a whole lot of fun. That was Watch Dogs for the PS3. I played the Watch Dogs 2, the sequel to it, and I did not like that very much. It just seemed like they kind of watered things down. It was a beautiful game. San Francisco looked great, but it was literally, it felt like every mission was just, how do I get on top of this building? Okay, now how do I get on top of this building? Now how do I get on top of this building? It just wasn't nearly as fun. The story, you were just these kind of snot-nosed kid hackers. It just wasn't nearly as a compelling game. Wasn't a fan of Watch Dogs 2, but I loved Watch Dogs 1. So that is my number 9, Watch Dogs 1. Once again, that was on PS3. My number 8 is another game I played on PS3, and this is a game that, of course, World War II era, though it's kind of a science fiction version of World War II, but again, another open world game, and this is the Saboteur. The Saboteur, you are an Irish race car driver living in Paris during the Nazi occupation, and you kind of hook up with the resistance, and you're killing Nazis left and right, but you've kind of got the thing where just walking down the street, you don't draw attention, but if you look shady, the Nazis will come over and look at you, and you got to walk in the other direction. If they catch you, they'll beat you up and try to kill you. And you can crawl up onto walls and look out over the rooftops. And it was just a very smart and interesting game. I really liked it a lot. It's not going to appeal to everyone because there's boobs. Your hideout is in a French cabaret. So, not for everybody. But it was just a fun game. I think that's probably the first open world game like that I ever played. And so that's one of the reasons why I liked it so much, is it was kind of the first game that introduced me into kind of this big sandbox open world experience. And it was just a lot of fun, and I loved the World War II theme. So that is the Saboteur. I played that on PS3. That is my number 8. My number 7 is a game that I played on the PC. Fans of the show know I love science fiction games, love science fiction themed games, love big space opera games. TI4, am I right? So this game is a PC space opera game. This is Sins of a Solar Empire. This is, of course, you're in a star system and you're trying to colonize worlds. You're trying to battle your enemies. You're trying to exploit resources. It's a 4X game. And it's very good, very well done, very colorful and beautiful graphics, and it was just a lot of fun. It's almost like a Civilization in space kind of a game, and I really got a kick out of it. And I like the different factions you could play. They each have different ships that had different powers and different abilities, and it wasn't one of these big, massive, immersive games. It was kind of a tight, focused game of a 4X game, and you could do multi-systems and stuff like that. Really enjoyed it. It was a whole lot of fun. That is Sins of a Solar Empire, my number 7, and that was on PC. Number 6 is a game that, again, I played this a few years ago and absolutely fell in love with it. It was a game that I really didn't know what to think of. The theme didn't really thrill me when I first heard about it, and I don't even remember why I got it, but I just remember playing it and thinking, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And that is Red Dead Redemption. I played that on PS3. And Red Dead Redemption is, of course, this grand open world game of the Old West. And, again, it's like 1910 is, I think, the year it takes place in. And the main character, his wife and kid have been kidnapped, and he's trying to get them back, so he's got to jump through all these hoops and go on all these adventures, and it was a lot of fun. They even did this kind of mod or expansion thing to it where you could actually play the zombies. Zombies are fighting you, and you got to get rid of the zombie curse, and I liked that, but it was very short. If it had been longer, I would have liked it better. But Red Dead Redemption was awesome. Now, I recently played Red Dead 2, and I liked it. In a lot of ways, it's superior. A lot of ways, I played that on PS4, and in a lot of ways, it's superior. It looks better. It's more open. There's more places you can go, more things you can do. But, first of all, I didn't like the interface. It seemed like it was too busy. There's too many ways to get to too many different things, and it was just too busy. I almost got to the end. I didn't quite finish it. I got to the epilogue, and I may go back and finish it up, but I just kind of lost interest in it. The story wasn't as compelling as the first one, and for me, a game like that really is a movie, like an interactive movie. I gotta like the story, or I'm not gonna like the game that much. And it was fun, but I just loved the first one so much. And the second one, even though it was superior in so many ways, just fell kind of flat for me in a lot of ways as well. So that is the first Red Dead Redemption. I absolutely loved it. That is my number 6. I played that on PS3. My number 5 is another strategy PC game that I played years ago that I really loved. And again, they came out with sequels that tried to improve it, and the sequels I just thought added too much, and it wasn't as fun. This is Hearts of Iron. Hearts of Iron is a great World War II game where you could pretty much play as any country in the world at the time, and you, of course, did develop science. You started in like 1936, I think, before the war began. So you had a few years to get ready to develop doctrine, to build technology, to do all sorts of things, to build your tanks and your planes, and it was really interesting. And then you could actually try to persuade people there's like a triangular chart between like fascism, communism, and democracy, and you could try to influence neutrals toward you, and even some of the major powers toward you. I remember one time I was playing Germany, and I was able to get the United States to become fascists, and that was not easy, but I did it, and eventually was able to kind of ally with them. And so that's cool, but it was just fun because you could do a lot of things like that. And it took me forever to figure out how to take on Russia, because it seemed like I'd be playing Germany, and I'd do really well, and then Russia would come in and Russia would just clobber me. But then you realize you gotta. It was funky. You had to play against Russia right, because it was huge. It was like the real Russia. Great World War II game, absolutely outstanding World War II game. Maybe the best PC World War II strategy game I've ever played. That's Hearts of Iron. Again, I played that on my PC, and that is my number 5. So my number 4 is a game I'm playing right now, and I'm absolutely loving it. I don't know how far into it I am, but if I finish it, I don't know if it'll go up or go down, but right now I freaking love it. This is Spider-Man on PS4. It's great. The story is Spider-Man, he's fighting this Chinese gang called the Demons, and of course you've got Doc Ock in there, and you've got Charles Osborn's in there, and you've got the Kingpin's in there, and all the big Spider-Man villains. And it's just fun, but I really like it too, because when I was a little kid, I loved Spider-Man. I remember watching that cartoon and seeing him swing from building to building. It's like, oh, I want to do that, And even in your kid brain, there's that part of your brain saying, you probably can't really do that. And it's cool, because in this game you can. You really feel like you are playing. It doesn't feel like you're playing a game. You are Spider-Man, and it's so much fun. The map in New York is absolutely awesome. You wonder how accurate it is, because it looks freaking amazing. And it's just fun. A lot of little side quests, a lot of little things you're trying to find, fun little missions, and then this great overall story that I'm really enjoying so far. So far, you played Spider-Man, but you also have little missions where you play MJ and Miles Morales. Really a lot of fun. That is Spider-Man for PS4, and that is my number 4. My number 3 is a game that I think Spider-Man owes a great debt to. In fact, maybe a lot of these open world games should owe a great debt to. And this is Batman Arkham Asylum. Now, I played all the Arkham games, and I enjoyed them all, but there's something about the first one that I just really, really loved. And like I say, some of the subsequent ones are superior in a lot of ways, and I really liked Arkham Knight quite a bit. But I liked Arkham Asylum because there was a claustrophobic, scary feel. There was almost a horror feel to Arkham Asylum that I really, really enjoyed. And I love the story. All the lunatics get out of the asylum, and they're running the asylum, and Batman's got to take him down. It was just brilliant. It was such a wonderful introduction to that unique open world system that accompanied it. And I really got a kick out of particularly the stealth mode when you're trying to take out guys and not have them see you. I think Spider-Man, of course, borrowed from that. Other games borrowed from that. But it just seems so good, and all the different gadgets and things that Batman could do, different abilities. You felt like you were Batman. And I really, really like that. So that is Batman Arkham Asylum. Play that on PS3, and that is my number 3. My number 2 is a game that I actually just bought this a couple of years ago. In fact, I think I bought it not long after I moved down here to Texas. Started playing it and really enjoyed it. I played its predecessor games, but this one is far and away the best. This is Napoleon Total War. Napoleon Total War builds in the Total War system. I played Rome Total War, and then I played Medieval Total War, and then I played Empire Total War. Liked them all. Empire I liked the best until I played Napoleon, and Napoleon blew me away. Of course, you can play the Grand Campaign. You can play like Napoleon in Egypt, or you can play the Battle of Waterloo. And it's just such a good operational system in the sense that you're moving your armies around the map, trying to get them to where they are to take their objectives. But really, the game shines in its tactical mode when you are actually on the battlefield and you are maneuvering your armies and trying to get covering fire for your units, and make sure your artillery is protected from a cavalry assault, and make sure you've got units stationed in such a way that they can protect from the various other units, the other cavalry or the other artillery. And it's just it's not 100% historically accurate. It's not historically accurate. I mean, your biggest battles are like 1,000 men or whatever, when in reality you were dealing with tens, if not hundreds of thousands of men in some of the Napoleonic campaigns. So that would be too big for a game like this. And it's interesting, too, because I was just taking a class where I was learning about the different orders, the lines, the columns, and then ultimately what Napoleon came up with the lines with columns, the order mixed, which actually was his preferred method of using columns on the field. The problem is you can't really do that because you don't have enough men to do those sorts of columns. So it's not historically accurate in that sense, but it's still a lot of fun. Good kind of tactical decisions and plays out in real time. These battles are playing out in real time, and it's just good, solid, and interesting battlefield decisions. And I really enjoyed Napoleon Total War. So that is number 2, Napoleon Total War. Played that on PC. Okay, so finally, my number 1 game of all time, video game of all time, and I kind of... Again, this is a game in a series, and I'm kind of reluctant to pick just one in the series. Certainly, it's one of the later ones, but this is Sid Meier's Civilization. When I was in high school, I played the first Sid Meier's Civilization, early 90s. I remember going over to my friend Jason's house. He had it on his computer, and we played that all the freaking time. Absolutely loved Civilization. Stuck with it through 2, 3. I thought 4 was really awesome because it was the first one to have religion, and the way culture spread I thought was just fantastic. 5 was good. I'm playing 6 right now. I actually just got 6 not too long ago, and I've been playing 6, and I've been enjoying 6, but I don't know. I think maybe my favorite is either 4 or 6, because they both have unique things I really like that they bring to it. Maybe there's a little nostalgia for 4, but I haven't played it in a long time, and I'm really enjoying playing 6. But these are great 4X games, civilization building games, and they're just massive. They're just monumental games. And they are so much fun. They're time sinks, man, and it's one of those games where, just one more turn, and then, 4 hours later, you're still playing it. So, be aware of that. But I love Sid Meier's Civilization. I love the board game that they came out with it, the New Dawn, which just recently came out. It doesn't fully encapsulate the video game. I mean, how could it? I know there's the older one that I think tried a little harder to encapsulate the video game, and even that failed. But I like the New Dawn board game. But I love the PC game. That's hands down my favorite. I probably spent more man hours on Civilization than any other game I can think of. And I absolutely love it. So much fun. So that is Civilization, Sid Meier's Civilization. I'm not going to say which one, but it's one of the Sid Meier Civilization games. That is my number 1 on PC. Thank you once again for joining us. Please leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about these lists. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm full of crap? I always love to hear your opinions about my opinions. It's just weird that way. But please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter and all that good social media stuff. And now, the answer to today's pop music quiz. The answer is Billy Preston. That's right, from Nothing fame, Billy Preston is the answer. And now, let me check the comments here in YouTube. And, the winner, once again, Zach Zembrunnen. Zach Zembrunnen has won a copy of my autobiography, Cody Dazzle Me. Thank you, everybody, and take care.
Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I've been dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
And you tell Cody he's a craphead.